You have entered the Chronic's rabbit hole, and Jordan, aka Fortress of Distortion, thank you so much for your Patreon membership request. You are bringing us something new down the rabbit hole, which is called Big Big Train, and the song is The Atlantic Cable.
I'm really looking forward to this song, as I know about the Great Atlantic Cable and its use for society, and I'm really looking forward to see what is coming in this. Thank you so much, Jordan, for bringing Big Big Train down the rabbit hole for the very first time. I'm really looking forward to this song. It's about the transatlantic cables that were used for telecommunication. Thank you for letting us know about that as well in your little write-up that you did. The transatlantic telecommunication cables, for those of you that don't know, were laid at the end of the in the 19th century, so like late 1800s, used for telegrams and communicating from Europe to North America. These cables were decommissioned, however, they are still in use for telephone and data transfer. So that's really interesting to know, especially because a lot of us believe that everything is done through Wi-Fi now. There are still cables underneath the Atlantic Ocean.
Crazy.
Which is crazy to think of, especially in 2023.
Yeah.
So if you guys are excited about this song, it is 15 minutes. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you love Big Big Train or other bands that have to do with historical facts, remember to like, comment, subscribe. Go check out Big Big Train on their page. Without further ado, let's get into this.
Jordan, thank you so much. You know we love our long epics. We love talking about something that's real. The album art or whatever is very encapsulating, and this is giving me already a feel like Dream Theater, which you and I love together, Jordan, and how Dream Theater has these long epics about these type of topics. So I'm really excited. Let's check out this prog rock, eh? Yeah, it's coming, hon.
It's wind blowing.
And that's cool that you notice all the different languages on the Earth. On the Earth? Yep.
I think that's a pan flute.
Yeah? Beautiful. Hell yeah! I know. Like, this is giving me such Dream Theater vibes. It's incredible. Thank you so much for giving me another band that gives me those same emotions. I needed this.
I'm really liking how it started with like really old school, like contemporary, like classic with the piano and the flute,
Yeah.
and then it quickly progressed into this.
Hell
And
yeah.
like that's such a big thing about the transatlantic telecommunication cable, is because it allowed for information to evolve, and suddenly people were
Yeah.
able to express ideas so quickly around the world, having this form of communication.
Right, yeah,
So
yeah.
how quickly the music switched from being its original like piano and a pan flute style format to
Yep.
then being so progressive, that is just very much in the heart and the spirit of what this cable did for the world, and how quickly information was able to change and transfer and progress into something else.
Yeah, this is a perfect song for the progression of what the Atlantic cable did, and like when it became obsolete, that's when the flute or the pan flute stopped, and then we went to the progressiveness. So I'm glad that you brought that up. And I was just about to ask you, is that a flute? And then you're like, that's a pan flute. I'm like, oh,
I
thanks.
think it is. It could be wrong, so correct me, but it's some kind of woodwind.
This is beautiful. Just keeps building. Jeez. There you go. Oh, this is smooth. There it is.
Across the water, swift as the steamers are. 10 days of storms and danger, 2,000 fathoms and more. Na 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 na.
I'm so happy that there's singing in this, and it came at the right point too.
It really did.
And like, it's just so stunning. I keep saying this reminds me of Dream Theater only because that's one of my favorite bands. We're going to see them, so it's getting me more hyped to see them. And the intricacies of this song itself, Jordan, you said that there's really good live versions of this, and you said it'd be wise to check this one out because you'll hear all the like nuances and the intricacies more. And every time something new came in, it felt like it was a new language that was being used by this, and it just kept adding and transitions.
For those of you, because this is going to be really small on our screen when you're watching it, they actually have in the globe tons of different languages. I have yet to find the English. I found one English word, but then it's hidden by a cloud.
I see.
Just in there.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what is being said, but it's actually, there's so many languages going around this globe as they're connected.
Yeah.
So, like, this is amazing, as he even said in the lyric, like, bringing mankind to unify as one.
Yeah.
And that was the goal of the transatlantic cable.
It was.
And that is, the one thing that he said is, like, 10 days across the ocean and 20,000 fathoms. But I thought it would have taken more than 10 days to lay that cable, honestly. So I'm gonna have to look more into it,
right?
Because I'm like, wait, did they only sail for 10 days? I thought it took way longer to get from Europe to North America than 10 days.
Right? Maybe it does. That's all it takes.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll have to, relook at some of my historical facts that I thought I knew.
But this is amazing. This is so up my alley. I started with prog rock is what got me into metal, so this just hits at home. It feels like I'm in high school right now.
What new ground can be lost? Signals can fade away. High seas and tempest breakers, lost to the depths and the void. And so it seems power is knowledge and time is an object. Close the distance, bring all together, a world undivided. Let mankind be as one.
We're in another section.
They transition so well.
Then of the great Eastern, answer the call. They have no cross to bear. They are as one. The line will hold. Bring it to earth. Give power to the words that cross the world from distant lands. The shape of the great Eastern takes form in the mist. All that was lost is found. Back from the deep. The
I needed to pause it because we've gone so long without a pause. This has been phenomenal. The transitions are impeccable. That moment there that we were just listening, where it was like da 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 da. There was a point where then they were hit like almost like a bass,
Right.
but it sounded like they were smacking the hull of a ship.
Oh, okay.
So a little intricacy that I noticed, because it was like a hollow, like hitting metal almost.
I see what you mean. Yeah.
And just something I've noticed is that a lot of the times I'm hearing these little intricacies throughout the song that don't quite sound like instruments, but they've made music out of something else.
Right. Yeah.
Kind of like Igor, how they made a drum out of a propane tank.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So that's kind of the vibe that I'm getting, is
experimental.
that they're experimental. Like, they are prog rock, so they're very progressive, so they would make those types of things.
Yeah.
And finding those different things to make into music, because anything can be a musical instrument if you have enough imagination and creativity.
Hell yeah, I can.
Right? And so that's what I'm getting from this. And there's so many little things where they're transitioning between different play styles, different types of instruments. I'm assuming all this like techno-y kind of feel is like from the keyboardist, who's just going amazing. I don't know why, but I just imagine their keyboardist dressed as a disco ball, like head to toe, just like going off.
Looking like Rammstein's one?
Yeah. Like moonwalking while like playing the piano.
Yeah.
That's just what I picture in my mind, because I'm just so happy. Like, this band is very happy. They're talking about how this cable, connected the continents together once again, how it's brought hope to mankind, how it brought people together, and it's created all of these phenomenal things. And it's just so crazy to think that this was all done back in the 1800s.
It is crazy. It's actually unfathomable, and it's incredible as well. This drummer is... Oh my
God, the drummer.
The drummer, for me, is standing out so much, because you need someone who's so technically skilled in being able to switch genres while drumming, because that's what kept the chaoticness in control for me when this is going through, and I'm just in bliss. We were dancing, honey.
Absolutely. I'm really glad you called out the drummer for being as amazing as he is, because he is the lifeline throughout the chaos of the transitions.
Exactly, right?
He's able to switch. He's switching time signatures. He's putting in those fills. He's maintaining his bass like throughout phenomenally. The singer has beautiful vocals. Phenomenal singer. I'm loving the chorus in the background. This is like, I just had to like make a pause and say something before I forgot it all, because this is just amazing. And that sound of them banging on a hull of a ship, especially because they're talking about sailing through the ocean. I had to call out that intricacy, because that's something that I would have forgotten, and it's just so like,
I'm glad you paused it for that, because like we didn't want to keep this going without being able to elaborate how much we're loving this. We only have 2.5 minutes left, so let's finish this amazing epic together. Oh. Yeah. Yes!
We make new common ground with light and sound. Close the distance, open minds, hear the quiet words. The wisdom of strangers, of those left behind. We look up at the same stars.
See further as one.
That must have transitioned into another epic as well.
I think it did. Like that was great build up for a transition into the next song.
That was phenomenal. Prog rock again has a place in my heart, and I needed to find a new band like the Big Train to get this hyped up again, because that already was switching into another song just to know it's gonna like transition into another great epic. But something I also noticed on the globe is there was one language that was red and everything else was white, so I don't quite know what that means. Maybe there's always one language that becomes dominant. I know English is the common language at all these scientific facilities around the world. But when you brought up the pan flute, it made me think of Pangea and how it started. And then when we separated, now we can become that Pangea again by able to talking to each other all the time.
Absolutely. They actually had a lyric around that where it was saying the continents are now connected once again.
Yeah.
So
well,
that was that Pangea where everything is now connected, and that's really cool. I'm glad you brought that up, because that's such a powerful imagery for them to be talking about. And then with all that, I did see that red language as well, and I wasn't able to read it or see what it was, but that stuck out to me, that there was one little section that was in red where everything else around the globe was in white. So I want to know more about that if you guys do know.
Definitely.
This song was so well done. It was released in 2021, so it's a fairly new song that just came out within the last couple years.
No kidding.
I love it. It's definitely, I agree with you, the Dream Theater vibes with how they do their transitions.
Oh, hell yeah.
How well how they're softer too. They're very progressive, they're very rocky, but they're also digestible in the sense of being soft enough, like with vocals and with their transitions and having the piano and the keyboard in the background, that anyone can listen to this and relate to it and have a great time. Very happy feel with the lyrics of coming together, of coming back together with humanity, humankind, being able to transfer ideas and information, and
east to west, hell yeah.
East to west, and just very much I love that imagery of that locking together.
Yeah, of course.
Because that is what we need as a society, is to be able to come together, to be able to have conversations about ideas and things in a correct manner, where we're listening to one another and not just yelling at one another. And so this was such a happy song, very powerful. I love the transitions because it was almost like the telling of time. Right?
Sure.
Where it started off very simple, and then it went progressive, and then it went bluesy, and then it kind of did all these different feels. And I know with the transfer of information, we, for example, on this channel, we never would have been introduced into Finnish music and the Finnish style of things if it wasn't for trans communication between continents.
100%, yeah.
And so that's just such a powerful thing for us. I have to say, this did bring up a little bit of sadness for me personally.
Yeah, please share.
Just because, if a lot of you don't know, and being a Canadian, we recently had Bill C-18 put into effect. So it only covers currently 2 platforms, which are Google based. So that's going to be Meta, which is
it's Facebook and Instagram.
Facebook and Instagram, as well as they're starting to bring in more different things with it. But in Canada, we will be no longer able to share international news due to Bill C-18. So that's going to be the censorship of international news. So as much as we have a really happy song about connecting people internationally, continent to continent, and how that happened in the 1800s with the transatlantic telecommunication line, it's crazy to think that I'm not sure when it happened. Let's say between 100 to 200 years ago, to connect everyone. Now we're looking at disconnecting and segregating information within our country. So that's a very scary thought, and that is a little bit of sadness that the song has brought to me and myself. And
Right. It was making me think about the Tower of Babel and when everyone can communicate, and then there was nothing that could be achieved because everyone can communicate with each other now. Because we also know after this happened, what happened in the 1900s after everyone was able to communicate, that we went World War style. And like, there's two sides to having so
Yeah.
much information, being able to push back and forth, and I'm not agreeing with the C18.
No.
What it's making me think though is just like how much still power and responsibility you have to have when you're talking to people with different views and different cultures and all that. And then when you blend it all together, how do you keep it sane and safe? Because those are uncalculated stuff that came from all these communications,
absolutely.
right?
I like how you say when so many people are able to communicate together with this, how to keep it sane and safe, because look at how many keyboard warriors we have online. Look at
Yeah.
all the trolls that are on the internet.
Well, that's just it. 'Cause if everyone can be a voice, which is what's happened now, and no
Everyone
one's,
can have an
then
opinion.
who's credible? Honestly, at that point, if everyone's credible and everyone's putting their thing out, so it's actually a tough one to navigate. And like, it was such a beautiful song, and like, so,
Such a beautiful
and
song.
I'm only just attacking what you're was bringing up as well on like on the flip side, because that's why now all the science around the world, we all talk in English, like, because then we are able to push things so far. But because of that, we got the nuke,
Yes.
right? So, and because of that, we now have all this technology that also can bring it all down.
Yes.
So there's and like you said, it's obsolete now, but then we're still using it. So like, it's just, we're always moving, and that's what it's making me think about. It's just the evolution of us as a species and how we're evolving. And it's just incredible that a music like this can have this amount of life in it.
Yes, so much life. So much life in this. And this has just been like such an experience to listen to this band and how they were able to push this topic that I honestly forgot about. I forgot about the transatlantic cable. I'm sure a lot of people have forgotten about it
Yeah.
because it's not talked about. And
I didn't even know about it, folks.
fair. So like
Not until now.
that's really cool that this song actually brought in some history and some information that it is unaware of to a lot of people in the world.
Yeah.
And the thing that I just want to add to like everything is like having the transatlantic cable, having these ways of communication and all of this stuff is such phenomenal move in the direction of technology and everything like that. And like what you were saying with like what came after that, now that everyone was able to talk together, that's just unfortunately the failure of humankind's greed and pride
Yes.
and
Yes.
wanting to push their opinion. And that's something that has become very much like just like in Canada, where one man is then pushing what his opinion is.
Yeah, absolutely, right? So, I mean, we have it pretty rough here in Canada how things are moving, but there's other places in the world that are even more
Way worse.
restricted. And like to be able to talk about this freely with everyone around the world that's
Means that
watching
we're
this.
not in that bad of a spot.
Exactly. So like, and I just was reflecting on everything, because I do think there's a double-edged sword with some of this stuff, because of people misusing it. But
Yes.
I also think it's incredible, because without it, we wouldn't be here talking with you guys. So I am taking advantage of all this amazing technology being moved forward. And it started with that, and that was something I did not know, and I had to admit it.
Yeah, just think of it. YouTube started with the transatlantic cable. Without that transatlantic cable for doing telegraph
Exactly.
in Morse code, we wouldn't be able to sit here today with the internet talking to you
Yeah.
and listening to this amazing music that we didn't know existed. I love this. This was phenomenal.
Yeah, so thank you so much, Jordan. You knew I would love this. This gave me so much Dream Theater vibes that I thought literally the drummer from Dream Theater was doing it. That's how good he was. That's top tier for me. Love it. Want to see more. Definitely give us some suggestions for other songs to do with the Big Big Train. But we are now exiting the rabbit hole.
Thank you so much, Jordan, for this. And if you guys love the Big Big Train as much as we are, remember to go check them out. Give them a like. Give them a follow. Listen to their music. Let us know what your favorite is. Let us know what you took from this 15-minute epic.
Oof.
And without further ado, peace and love, everyone.
God bless y'all.
Take care, and bye for now.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more Enter the Chronicness.
Special shout out to all of our patrons and YouTube members. We appreciate all of your support.